What's up, y'all? So, parts of New York are beginning to open up. What do y'all think about that? All right, so I'm gonna try and do this video. I'm parked under a New York City train trestle, so we may get a little noise, but I'm gonna try and do the video anyway, real quick. So, I heard the announcement that Cuomo has decided to start opening up certain parts of New York State. This is based on CDC guidelines, which says that if the 7 or 8 criteria reflects low enough numbers, then it's acceptable to open up. This includes infection rates, mortality rates, number of COVID patients in ICU, blah, blah, percentages based on population, all this other stuff. Okay. But I wanted to do the video because, this kind of goes back to certain criteria that people spoke about a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago, when other states were looking at opening up. Okay, and there was this big uproar about it's too soon, and I don't want to be biased. Okay, as someone who is fortunate enough to be able to survive without having to work, it seems to me that the folks who can afford to stay home or work from home, have the opportunity to work from home, or the folks who are fortunate enough to have enough savings to tide them over for a prolonged period of time without having to work, are the ones that are most vocal about it being too soon. And my biggest question, I've been saying it to everyone that this subject has come up to with me, is when is too soon? The reason why I say that is because we need to focus on ways that we can live in this environment and still be able to survive. It does no one any good if, I'm not even gonna say if the economy shuts down, I'm gonna say if people start dying in their homes because they can't afford, they have no money to go out and buy any more food that in some cases are kind of scarce as is. And the majority of those folks are poor. There's only a very small percentage of folks who are obviously affluent and wealthy. There is a larger number of folks who do have savings and all of these things, but the majority of folks out there are working paycheck to paycheck, have no savings, and that little $1,200 stimulus check, which, by the way, I can't understand how that makes sense. How does someone who is as fortunate and who is wealthy get the same amount of money who's someone who's dirt poor? That I don't even understand, but maybe that's another video or something like that. So my point is, we need to find a way to live, be it our masks, be it our gloves, taking the precautions, washing our hands, carrying around hand sanitizer, but we need to find a way to live and move on. Because aside from being bored, not too many people can afford to be shut in for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I heard some kind of crazy rumor because right after they opened up Atlanta, I saw videos of just people just out there. I mean, they weren't even wearing masks or anything like that. And the next day, I heard from at least 3 other people saying that something to the effect of there were 1,000 new cases that popped up overnight because the city opened up, and all of them were saying, oh, well, you see, it's too soon, it's too soon. I don't know. Maybe it's me. It just doesn't make sense to me. We're all 1,000 plus of those individuals in these same gatherings. How many of these individuals may have been infected in other ways prior to, may have been infected and didn't even know they had the coronavirus? Because they liken this thing almost to AIDS sometimes when they talk about it, right? You got the corona, you're positive for COVID-19, you're gonna die. When the majority of us are not gonna die. The majority of us may not even know we've been exposed and we have it. So I go back to the same fundamental question, which is, how soon is too soon? It's already commonplace. I'm looking down a busy street in the Bronx, New York City. Everybody's got on masks of various flavors. I don't see one person without a mask. Oh, and I got mine. I have mine. I'm sitting in the car by myself. Anyway, but people are getting on with life. We need to be able to find a way to work and do the things that we need to do to earn money so that we can feed ourselves, maintain ourselves. And I'm not even talking about rent, mortgage, and all these other things, because I've heard these horror stories about that as well. All right, so they want to put a freeze on mortgages, but yet the landlords are still beating down on the tenants for rent. And in some cases, the mortgage companies are not really doing that. Like, there has to be some law passed and all of this stuff. You know, Cuomo can't just say, this is what we're gonna do. All right, he can stop state-based and New York City-based evictions. He can stop that. But to me, if people haven't been allowed to work to make the money to pay their mortgages, which is most folks, then you just saying that there's a freeze is not really going to help, because they still have to catch up on that mortgage at some point. If you add it to the back end, okay, might be a little bit more tolerable. So now they go back to having 50 payments instead of 43 payments, you know, or whatever the case is. But on the back end, that might help. But just to say, we're gonna stop charging. You're gonna stop having to pay for your mortgage for the next 2 or 3 months. But then the mortgage company is going to say, hey, you know, you still owe us those 2 or 3 months. You know, we gave you a break, we deferred it, we did this, we did that, but you still owe it. It's still going to put a lot of people in a bind. There just has to be a better way than just leaving everything shut down. That's basically my opinion. What's your opinion? I'd like to know. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to my ramblings. Definitely value your opinion. That's it. Last but not least, whether you ride share or you're a millionaire, be the best person that you can be. Stay frosty, and remember, sky's the limit. Peace.
This logo is a registered trademark of the Sky's the Limit Family, LLC.